Welcome back to JoyNews Desk with me, Mamisi Nyamiche Thompson. We'll cross over now to Parliament, where the committee probing the leaked IGP plot tape. And we have before them some members of the police service before the committee as we speak. Let's take live.
The portions of the Criminal Act 1960 as amended. And if you pay regard to Section 210, it provides, whoever commits perjury shall be guilty of a second-degree felony. The definition section of perjury is Section 211, and I quote, "A person is guilty of perjury if in any written or verbal statement made or verified by him upon oath before any court or public officer or before the president or any committee thereof, he states anything he knows to be false in a material particular or which he has no reason to believe to be true." I think the lawyers understand what I'm saying. That you are comfortable to come before this committee and lie. If it's so found that you peddled falsehood in order to deceive this committee, you are in the area of perjury already. So please, these matters, I want to bring it to you so strong, so that just open up, speak the truth, and then, release you to go. Because at the end of the day, it's not any witch hunting. It's a matter which has engaged national attention, and we want to find the truth and leave it as it is. So these are my initial remarks. As I've said already, there will be the necessity to play the tape to your hearing, and then interrogation begin. I yield space to my vice chairman. And he used to be the Deputy Minister for Interior, was it?
Yeah.
Yes. So he understands these police matters.
Thank you, Chairman. Let me also add my voice in welcoming the witnesses and members of the public and the media. Honorable Chairman, the committee was set up by Parliament to look into a matter that is of public importance to our country. And so we are not on a frolic of our own. Our work is constitutionally provided for. And so what we're going to engage in is a very serious exercise. And that is why the witnesses who are appearing before us have the right to counsel, and as I can see, they are ably represented by counsel. We shall accord counsel with all the courtesies that they deserve in the circumstances. Like I said, we are not on a frolic of our own. We were given specific terms of reference, and those terms of reference shall guide us in our work. One of the terms of reference that should guide this committee, first and foremost, is for us to authenticate or to establish the authenticity of the leaked audio that has gone viral. And I believe you have all, in one way or the other, heard voices on that leaked audio. 2, we shall also investigate the conspiracy to remove the current IGP. 3, the committee would then make recommendations, with respect to sanctions. If, for instance, the witnesses who appear before us are found culpable, we make recommendations. We don't have the power to punish. We can only make recommendations. And so that is what the committee is about. And therefore, when you take your stance to proffer evidence, it is in the interest of all of us that you assist this committee to establish the truth. That's all. Like the chairman said, we're not here to witch hunt anybody. Ours is to establish certain basic facts, make recommendations, which recommendations would be considered by the entire House. That is the remit of our mandate as a committee. Then, of course, we'll make any recommendations which could lead to the making of reforms, law reforms with respect to police service and other relevant matters. So, Honorable Chair, these are the terms of reference which will guide us in our work. And therefore, we expect that there will be cooperation from the side of the witnesses. We have committed to cooperate. That is why we're all here, fully prepared to do justice to the issues that have been put before us. On that note, I would end here, and I wish you well in your testimony before the committee. Thank you.
Very, very comprehensive, Vice Chair. Thank you very much. On this note, I invite my good friend to play the tape to the hearing of the witnesses and their lawyers. Okay, hold on. Hold on to the table. No, after that. Well, I've just been I'm instructed by some of the lawyers on the committee that we should swear you in at once. So administer the oath to the witnesses, and then the tape will be played. Sorry? Let me see. Are you all going to swear to the Bible? Let's find out their religious persuasion, and then we'll know, because they could stand together, and then when you say it, you mention your name, and that's it. That is swears in Parliament. Yes, please. So find out from them. So hand over what is the article of faith, and they should be upstanding now. There's only one Bible. Oh, okay. So let's do it individually then. So who will start? Yes. Okay, the commissioner.
I, COP George Alex Mensah,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
before
this
committee
touching the matter and issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Help me God.
Thank you very much.
I, Superintendent George Mensah,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much.
I, Superintendent Emmanuel Ereje.
Swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give.
That the evidence I shall give.
Before this committee.
Before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
This will be in English.
Okay, so this morning we have a trinity of 3 Christians. They also on the Bible. That's very interesting. So Clark, let's hear the tape.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
We would like to make some preliminary points before the committee proceeds with their work. As we introduced earlier, we represent Mr. George, COP George Alex Mensah. The invitation to appear before this committee only referred to a leaked tape of a high-ranking police officer for which he is supposed to appear before this August committee and be examined based on that invitation. So, Chairman, we were not given the benefit of the tape which he was to answer questions on prior to our attendance here this morning. And so, in a way, will hamper our preparation, his preparation to answer the questions which will be asked in that regard. And even more important, Mr. Chairman, the sense of reference of this committee was never made known to the person who has been invited, so that it's able to factor and shape this evidence in line with what this committee is looking at. I've noticed that the honourable member for Busa made mention of the term of reference of the committee. We have not been officially given a copy of the terms of this committee. So, Mr. Chairman, at this point, we will ask to be given a copy of the terms of reference of the committee so that our client will be able to know what exactly the committee is investigating, which will help us assist the committee properly. So this is our first preliminary point. We are grateful.
Well, it's like you're saying that you want to see a charge sheet before, they start the evidence. It's not like that here. It's not being charged with anything. There's no offense that we have found against him. The terms of reference is to guide the members of the committee to do the work assigned us by the respected speaker. And the terms of reference does not contain anything which would do injury to the testimony of your client. There's no surprise in it. There's nothing in it that we seated here will do some ambush litigation that if you didn't read it, then will lead you into a blind alley for some matters to go against your client. So with the greatest of respect, we could give you the terms of reference, but the terms of reference, it's not going to affect what he's saying. The terms of reference is supposed to help us. And you see, you didn't even, be given the tape in advance before you speak to it. Because we didn't know the full extent of anybody's involvement until the tape was played and the witness who appeared before us, the first witness, said, these are the individuals who were engaged with the matter. So now, what should we do? how could we give it to you in advance if we didn't know who were on the tape? We couldn't give it to you in advance. All that happened was that indeed and in fact he confirmed that. But the good news for you as counsel is that the tape should be played. When the tape is so played, you'll be listening, and your clients will be listening, and you know what to do. Which you think is self-incriminating, which the law does not permit that somebody should answer, anything that is self-incriminating. Have a conference with your and then you raise the so with the greatest of respect, I don't believe that your initial concerns, will do this happening here. It's going to be a very civil engagement. I do not see how you not having an advanced copy of the tape is going to do damage to the case of your client. Your client will have to listen and then answer the questions. The questions will not be anything so serious to spring a surprise on him. And I believe that we should proceed with this matter because, if you like, if it's a preliminary objection, I do not think that we should say we are not going to continue with this sitting because you need a lot of time to prepare for your defense. As a matter of fact, what should happen to you is that when you've listened to the tape and you believe that you don't have answers or you have challenges, we can give you space to do it. So your objection is overruled with the greatest of respect, and we want to proceed with the listening of the tape. I'm sorry, and I'll crave your indulgence to.
The microphone, please. Can you tell me?
I'll crave your indulgence to listen to the tape very well, and then the interrogation will start.
We are grateful for your ruling, Mr. Chairman. The basis for asking for the terms of reference, Mr. Chairman, was going to be the foundation for another objection we have before you. And Mr. Chairman did indicate that you have no objection to us having the terms of reference. And also, I also heard from the Vice Chairman the various terms within which you are to operate. Mr. Chairman, one of the terms of reference of this committee is to
So you have it already?
You have it.
No, I don't have it. I don't have it.
So
Based on what the Vice Chair said.
Okay.
Yes. Which I know is on record.
Okay.
And we will proceed from there. Based on the terms which were read out by the Vice Chairman, the one that concerns us most is the fact that the committee is required to recommend sanctions to persons found culpable where appropriate. So obviously, we see the committee to be one way or the other determining the rights of the persons who are going to appear before them. Mr. Chairman, this will take us to the composition of the committee itself. We have also gathered from the news some members of the committee who have made comments which we consider to be prejudicial, even before the matter was started. Respectfully refer to the comments made by Member of Parliament for Wa West, Mr. Peter Lanchini Tobu. Honorable Peter Lanchini Tobu. I'm sorry if I'm not getting the name right, but this is, yeah. It's reported on Ghana Web.
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman, if you're under agents, I may read the reportage I have here. I may tender for the committee's consideration, if necessary. The Member of Parliament for Wa West, Peter Lanchini Tobu, says hellfire awaits police officers whose names were mentioned in the IGP's attempted elimination leaked tape. He was emphatic that those individuals will regret ever choosing the police as a profession. And it continues. His comments come on the back of a leaked audio in which a police commissioner is heard plotting for an unknown former executive of the ruling national NPP, the removal of the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Alex. Peter Lanchini Tobu, who is a former police officer, told NEET FM's morning show, Ghana Munti, that an officer found guilty will be harshly dealt with. This is a disgrace, and they will regret it, he said. Mr. Chairman, we know Parliament is a master of its own rules.
Yes.
However, when Parliament sits in a manner that affects the rights of a citizen, that sitting ought to be construed as such. And in a situation where you have the person coming to determine the rights of the individual, making comments before he even heard that individual, we are very alarmed that in the situation where sanctions or recommendations are supposed to be made, the honourable member had already made his mind, even before he heard anything from anyone. So, Mr. Chairman, we are bringing this objection to his inclusion of the committee. And like I said, you are masters of your own rules. You may decide the way your rules determine, but on record, this is our objection to his inclusion. Secondly, we also have a publication attributed to the Vice Chairman. And also to shorten it, there is also a publication, the Ghanaian Standard. The Vice Chairman is reported to have also stated, the actions of the one behind the audio, for me, pass for treason. Pass for treason. Yes. And this matter must be dealt with as such. It is an attempt to subvert the will of the people in 2024. So, in sum, this is what he also said in one publication at the Standard.
Yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, we are before you. Our humble plea is that even before the committee starts its work, our clients are seen in the light of being treasonous. And also another member of the committee has promised hellfire on our clients, even before anybody was heard in this matter. So, Mr. Chairman, we make these observations and we, for your ruling in the matter accordingly.
Okay. I believe you are trying to churn out newspaper publications, is that not so? Okay, fine. So first of all, I would give opportunity to the members of the committee that you've just named for them to respond to the newspaper reportage, and then let's see how we proceed from there. So first of all, let me go to... Yes.
One Yes. Social media, Ghana Web.
Yes.
And the other one is a newspaper.
Okay.
So let's have the...
Okay, there's one Ghana Web and that one is also newspaper reporter. So, Vice, you want to start or? No, let me go in the order in which she made the allegation. No, you take it easy. So let my brother here respond first, and then and the Vice will respond. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Let me first of all welcome the senior police officers and their lawyers who have just appeared before us. I am hearing these words for the first time. And for Ghana Web, I don't know who they are and where they are. If you are talking about social media, I'm sure we are all in this country. Sometimes they ascribe things to people, and when you read them yourself, you get shocked. And actually, I'm surprised with hellfire for whoever will do what. I can't just remember sleeping in a dream with these words coming out. But that notwithstanding, I've been a police officer before. I know what the rules and regulations are, and I'm a member of a committee. Over the days, what I have done personally to help the Ghanaian people appreciate what we are doing is to refer them to the terms of reference and what we've done so far. I even remember a point in time somebody asked me whether COP George Alex Mensah was going to appear before us. I said, I don't know. I only heard of Commissioner or COP Mensah. If he appears and happens to be the COP George Mensah that you know, it will be aired live and all of us will be watching. This is a very transparent process. And as the terms of reference goes, it is not for me, Honorable Peter Lanchine Togo, to determine the kind of punishment to give to anybody. And this is just a fact-finding commission or committee.
Honorable Member, you are saying that this is not from you. This hellfire business, is that what you are trying to imply?
Honorable Chair, this hellfire statement attributed to me is not from me.
All right. So let's move on to the Vice then.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. This committee is made up of members who have integrity. You see, Honorable Chairman, the statement attributed to me is purported to have been authored by a newspaper called The Standard. The Standard is a newspaper that I don't know of. Number two, the matter before us originated from a debate on the floor of the House in which I contributed. In fact, my contributions to the statement read by the Deputy Minority Leader was comprehensive. I canvassed for the idea of a probe. And I did make conditional statements. That one, we can't take things on their face value. We need to authenticate the tape. And those who, for instance, spoke in the tape, if we are able to establish that, in fact, they actually said the things that are captured on the tape, their conduct would pass for treason. They made treasonable statements. But there was a condition, subject to the establishment of the veracity of the content of the audio. And that is the exercise this committee is engaged in with the greatest of respect. Now, prior to the matter coming before Parliament in the form of a statement and the ensuing debate, I had spoken to the media. And the position I canvassed on the floor of the House was not any different. I called for a probe. given the seriousness of the content of the tape, I said there were compelling reasons why a probe should be instituted to establish the veracity or otherwise of what we were hearing, which had gone viral. I don't see how prejudicial that is. Additionally, counsel talks about rights of witnesses and that this committee is going to determine the rights of witnesses. I disagree. Determine the rights of witnesses in the sense of what? The imposition of sanctions. That is a clear misunderstanding of the mandate of the committee. And I deliberately referenced the terms of reference in my preliminary remarks that this committee has not got the power to sanction anybody. Ours is to make findings. When findings are made, those findings are subject to a further test at the level of the plenary, where final recommendations can either be accepted or rejected. When our recommendations are accepted, it means they would have passed a certain test. So in terms of sanctioning, that is an area that will be taken up by the Attorney General. Then all your rights are reserved. If you appear, you are charged, a court is going to give you the right to be heard. You would have the opportunity to defend yourself. It is for a court to establish the guilt or otherwise of, the witnesses. If eventually our work results in the making of recommendations, which eventually leads to the preference of charges, you have the right to appear before a court of competent jurisdiction, which, of course, would respect all your rights, the rights to fair trial, etc., etc. That's it. So I'm not prejudiced in any way, Chairman, with the greatest of respect. This attempt to reconstitute the committee is unacceptable. It's a mandate vested in the Speaker, and the Speaker did just that. The members were carefully chosen to do justice to the issues, and we must respect that.
Okay, so, Council, you've heard, what they put forward. There is a denial of this hellfire from one of them. My vice was saying that there was a debate which preceded the referral and the constitution of this committee. So the House floor matters, the privileged dimension of that somebody raised a matter and he contributed. So there were conjectures, if you care to know, if these matters are true, then they will have treasonable consequences and the rest of them. But be that as it may, the Speaker thought it wise that it should be part of the committee. See, so we will not sit here and try to overrule the Speaker as to the composition of the committee. But let me tell you something which is very, very, very simple for you to comprehend. There is no incentive for anybody to do damage to anybody via the deliberations of the committee, so long as I remain the chairman. There is none of the witnesses here that I even know personally. And I can assure you that we are not going to damn anybody after listening to the evidence. As a matter of fact, it is the evidence that will even cause us to come out with any recommendations. So I'll crave your indulgence to trust this institution of Parliament and the judgment of the Speaker that in the face of what he said on the House floor, he should be the Vice Chairman. For us to do the fact-finding, that's what we are trying to do, which you can interfere and intervene. That is why we said the witnesses should come here with lawyers. So we are in the process of the fact-finding. What if all the fact-finding
is in your favor. So I can understand your apprehension that probably because of some comments outside the powers of this committee or things which predated the setting up of the committee, you were a bit nervous that there was going to be prejudice. I can assure you that there's not going to be any prejudice. And what is going on here is not a kangaroo hearing. You see, everything is open for the consumption of the general public. And we owe you a duty of truth. That what you will not say, you are not going to report to the House floor that you said. Because all that we are doing, if you like, has audio evidence. That's what is going to happen. So please, I want to alleviate you of any issue of prejudice. And I don't see how I can sit here and ask them to recuse themselves because they are appointed. It's not a chairman. It's the speaker who, in the face of some of these concerns, said he should be the vice. But this gentleman's own is saying that he doesn't even connect with that weird statement that there will be hellfire. But if he thinks, even if he thinks it's hellfire, would it be the thinking of everybody here that should be hellfire? So these are my observations concerning what you said. You've made some very valid points, but I do not believe, given our remit and the pleasure of the speaker, we should be able to change issues because of newspaper reportage and the rest of it. The substance is about to be rolled out. The real issues are about to be rolled out on oath. And what is more important than evidence on oath, rather than somebody's view of a matter via a newspaper or Ghana web or whatever web. So please, I want to assuage your fears that I do not believe that there is any malice aforethought and somebody wants people they've never known. But for somebody mentioning their name, I've never met them before. I didn't know them. So please, Council, I want us to proceed and do your best job. As for the pre-sitting engagements in the media, I am not media rude. I don't believe anybody here is media rude. Is going to sort of pander to the whims and caprices of the media. But the pain is that it's like the evidence is not rolled out and you have apprehensions. What if the evidence is exculpatory of your client? What are you going to say? So, Council, if you want to reply, just say it. I will move on.
Gentlemen,
yes, please proceed.
Yes, thanks for your comments. We have no apprehensions whatsoever, just to also make the committee comfortable. Our point was on the appearance of bias, or the likelihood of it. The honourable member for Wa West denied by making that statement. Mr. Chairman, I confer with my client. The invitation to this committee was only given to him on Wednesday. So when these issues came up, for us to be able to provide further proof of this statement, it became difficult to get those audios. We are able to procure the audios of the statements which have been made by the two members for the committee's consideration. And we are in your hands in that regard.
Okay. So, be that as it may, whatever evidence that you have, which will go to show that probably these individuals are not qualified to sit in this matter, let's have the evidence. Right. But bear in mind, they are not the appointor. The matters will be referred to the appointor, and then a decision might be taken one way or the other. But as it stands now, I would advise you that
give the best legal industry you have in relation to what is about to be played out. And let's see how it proceeds. And bear in mind also, as my vice rightly said, the matters that will come out of this committee, which you'll be part of the literature of what we'll do, will be sent to plenary, where the whole of the House will debate. And even if it is said that somebody should be sanctioned, it is not binding on the powers that be, if you get to know. And if there is anything that somebody wants to do, you know how to challenge it. And I think you should bear these factors in mind. But right now, as we sit here, it's like they say in my language, you see, so give us opportunity, let it roll out, and we'll see. But as I sit as a chairman here, and I know the members of this committee, I do not believe there can ever be malice aforethought. And I won't permit it. I don't believe that this is a forum for me to run down senior police officers or invent evidence against them. I don't think anybody here would do that. So I'll crave your indulgence that give us all the evidence you have concerning the voice, the voice messages of those members. But I come back to my initial point. The raw material of this investigation is a tape. Listen to the tape very well as a lawyer. The people you represent are senior police officers. They have a lot of, police intelligence and all forms of it. They should also listen carefully. Raise an objection if you believe that a question being fired from a member is self-incriminating. Do that. We'll give you the space to confer with your clients, even before they answer questions. You have all the opportunity to do what is you know best to do. I don't have to tell you. But trust me, this committee will never shortchange the officers here. Not when I'm here. They will never be shortchanged. Nobody will mess up with their career by what we cook, because we are not interested in cooking anything against somebody. We will never do it as a committee. It's the bare raw facts that we'll put together and bring it to the House floor. So this is what I want to say. And on this note, I invite the clerk to initiate the playing of the tape. And it should be well amplified so they listen, and then we proceed.
Mr. Chairman, we are grateful for your ruling. Yes. And we abide accordingly. The next activity, as you have indicated, is for the playing of the tape.
That is so.
That is so. Mr. Chairman, we will, from the letter which my client received,
yes,
he is supposed to respond to a leaked tape.
Yes.
Yes. So we want to know the source of the tape which the committee is about to play for our client to consider.
Okay, so yesterday, was it? Oh no. At the first hearing. Yes. You know the rule of evidence, which says that evidence will be looked at irrespective of the source. You know that rule of evidence. How it was obtained is of no consequence to the materiality of the evidence. You see, so please, that is a matter that I should weigh strong on your consideration.
Oh, you are going to section 52.
It's fine. And what is critical, at the last sitting, a witness was here. A chief It's called Mr. Bugri Nabu. So we did what was right and requisite. We just played the tape in order to get into the issue of authenticity and validity of the tape. And he confessed that he did the taping. And he also brought to our attention that the gentlemen in front here are associated with the tape. And some of the voices are their voices, which became important that we should invite the voices on the tape here. That is how it began. So as to, first of all, how we got the tape, we don't owe it to your, your good self, to go into those matters. Because the law is very clear that when evidence is before any panel or court of law, and is good evidence, the source is of no consequence. Then you should also know by now, the tape has gone viral. Are you aware of that fact?
That's our fear. That's definitely our fear.
Yeah, because before we sat to interrogate the matter, the tape was in the public domain. Was that not so?
There were tapes in the public domain.
Okay.
We have not taken time to listen to all the media outlets on which tape they are playing.
Okay. You will listen to one which is before us, and that will suffice. Understand? Because we don't have 5 tapes. What we have is only one. And that tape that came to us has been authenticated. The man made a positive judicial confession because he also swore on oath that he even went further than the voice that I did the taping. He said so. What more do we need than to invite those whose voices are on the tape to appear before the committee and then say whether it's a valid representation of them or not, whether these voices are theirs or not. So this is where we are going, and I'm still open to your concerns. Okay, Vice Chair wants to speak here.
Yes, Honorable Chairman, the objection raised goes to admissibility, and we want to point it out very clearly to Council that this committee considered the issue of admissibility and actually proceeded to admit the tape. That is the crux of the chairman's position, the views he has expressed. So I think we have gone beyond that stage.
Yes.
We took into account the constitutional provision, Article 18.2, which deals with privacy rights versus public interest issues. I think we have outlined when we presented the terms of reference to you that the issues that are supposed to be investigated and findings made partly border on conspiracies to remove an IGP, etc. That is a matter of public interest. We considered decisions of the Supreme Court, Raphael Kobaji, before arriving at our decision to admit the tape. I mean, that is for your consumption. And so we dealt thoroughly with the issue of admissibility of the tape and found that it was admissible in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of our country. Thank you, Chairman.
So, Council, I can see that your clients are very, very excited about your interventions, you know, and you are worthy of your high. You are truly worthy of your high. So, without malice aforethought, let the tape be played. And it's so clear, if you have any objections after the tape has been heard, you have your right to do so. So, please commence, the playing of the tape to the hearing of everybody.